survive the podcast? Will we survive the podcast? Let's start the episode. Click.
What?
Remember that record that you bought me like 2 years ago? Well, I just remembered that it's sitting in the closet. So I called you up just to tell you I've been meaning to listen to that. I've been meaning to listen to that. Why don't you come over and talk about it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Why don't you come over and talk about it?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to I've Been Mean to Listen to That, the podcast where we go through albums we've been mean to listen to and use as a conduit to learn about each other and our guests. I'm Andrew Ambrose Lee.
I'm Stenley Philippe.
I'm John Butts.
And we got our it's like Avengers Endgame where like Thanos is meeting the Scarlet Witch and something, you know.
No, this is more like Immortals or
Eternals.
Yes.
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 I'm sure there's a Disney
Totally.
Plus miniseries called Immortals somewhere. Like,
Yeah. Maybe Moon Knight. Remember Moon Knight?
Hey, that was really good.
Sure. I never saw it,
There's
but I heard it
one
was
person
good, and
that was good.
it had an actual actor as the lead.
Yeah, and he's never coming back. Love it.
yeah. Moon Knight won't return in Avengers like Infinity War.
Moon Knight will return in J. Cole's The Fall Off.
Yeah, like I'm Dakota Foss. Dakota Foss is here.
Hello.
Hey, so this is this is very exciting. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to reunite the pods and talk about J. Cole's The Fall Off. Me, John, and Stenley have talked about 2014 Forest Hills Drive. It's a fantastic episode. And also like we built on your point about like J. Cole being like a Jordan Peterson acolyte, basically. But before we get into that, like, let's talk to you, Dakota, about your relationship to J. Cole. Like, what's your preconceived notions? How have you grown alongside J. Cole all these years?
Yeah, totally. And we don't have to go through the whole thing with each of you since you guys have said it before, but like I'd love like a little bit of a recap rundown how you guys feel. But yeah, I wasn't like super into hip hop, like other than like the most like white freshman like in college way. Like I was
Asher
God. Okay, maybe a shade darker. But like no, I was like into I was really only into metal until I went away to college. Then I got into like Kanye, Tyler the Creator / Odd Future, and Death Grips. You know, like I was a walking meme for sure. Yeah, I wasn't really too aware of J. Cole until he dropped Born Sinner, which was such an insane day for hip hop because it was Born Sinner, Yeezus, and Mac Miller's Watching Movies with the Sound Off. All three of those albums are just insane. But yeah, I mean, J. Cole was like really popping off. Like he was on a bunch of party playlists then with some of the songs from Born Sinner. And then, yeah, Forest Hills, when that dropped, that was like in pretty close proximity to Pimp a Butterfly, right?
I think it's like a little before or something like that. Or,
was it a little before?
It's like within a year of each other.
Yeah. I just like, I have it very much in my head that those like, I lived in the same awful college house with both of them. So they at least came out in the span of that lease. Yeah, but Forest Hills came out and I was pretty about Forest Hills. Like he did that live album too that came out and like, you know, that was pretty good. And that was like when the whole J. Cole meme, you know, was really popping, like, oh, he went double platinum with no features. And then J. Cole was like, oh, okay, so that means I should never have anyone work with me on my music again. But yeah, like I was really into Forest Hills, really into that live album. And then almost immediately after that, it was like, J. Cole, what are we doing for the last decade? For Your Eyes Only was like fine. The first song off of that, I can't remember. I'm gonna look it up right now.
When the
Actually,
bell tolls or something.
Is it When the Bell Tolls? I thought it like it's maybe it's. Oh, you're right. That's the intro track. I think Immortal's the song where he's like, "I'll
Coming
put
on
your
Disney
finger in the
Plus.
sky," right? Is that song?
I don't know. I haven't listened to this album in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, even if you did, like you would instantly be knocked out of consciousness. So it's like chlorophyll or not chlorophyll, chloroform.
It's like
we're going
chlorophyll, and
strong
that
here.
gives you life. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. For Your Eyes Only, super boring. KOD was the most like I'm 14 and this is deep album. What's his alter ego, Kill Edward, where he just pitch shifts his voice down like for half the album? Like that's insane. And there's a song on that album. There's like a little monologue going, and the end of the song is like talking about all these dangerous drugs that kids are dying from. And then they say, and the most dangerous drug of all, love. And I ought to like, that meme of the guy taking off his headphones in disgust. that was me in that moment. Yeah, so I wasn't a big fan of KOD. Can't really tell you much about the off season other than like it was my thoughts on that were at the time like this is just another lukewarm thing, and then everything with the rap beef and like calling himself Big Three were, I'm sure that we'll talk about this in the episode, but like it just colored my expectations of like, J. Cole had a good thing going for a couple of years, and just everything that he did with that rap beef and coming after it has just been like this man has a very different view of how his career has gone than I had. Because big three to me is like if I'm sitting in between like I mean I never played football in high school or anything, but like if I was sitting between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, and then I was just like, man, isn't that crazy? We're just three quarterbacks sitting here. Like, okay, buddy, like you can't just throw like calling himself top three. It's like giving yourself a nickname, like somebody needed to check him. I don't know. That's my feeling. So all this to say is like, I was a really big fan of J. Cole. Not like a stan or anything, but I really liked the stuff that he was putting out like in the early mid 2010s. And after that, it's just been one disappointment after the other. But like that being said, I did always come back to check out whatever he was putting out because, nobody's a bigger hype man for J. Cole than J. Cole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't let that bike fool you.
I feel like we should talk about like expectations around this album because it's been teased since KOD. The albums after KOD have been like kind of centered around the theme of a fall off of like the off season, and then he was going to do It's a Boy, and then he was going to do like the Drake song he mentions like the fall off, like, and he's like kind of like doing all this stuff. And like what was your guys' like expectations around this album? Like what were you thinking about this?
I'll be quick. None. I'm so serious. I wish I could be hyperbolic, but I have not been thinking about this album whatsoever. Similarly to Dakota, like I'm always checking in with J. Cole. Like I'm pretty sure I listened to Friday Night Lights and like the warm up, whenever those came out. I don't know if that was before his debut or like in between, but I at least been in the loop. But yeah, zero expectations for this album. The off season I didn't really care for. Kids on Drugs. There was like one song, The Cutoff, which honestly was a Kill Edward feature that I actually enjoyed. But I could not tell you anything else about that album other than the best thing you could do, meditate. It's like, all right, bro. All right, man. But one thing that I like try to give him a little credit for is honestly something that Andrew underscored on the episode we did Forest Hill Drive is like you got to keep in mind the audience too and like the reach. And like maybe some folks don't have these mechanisms, you know, not everybody like has the same level of exposure to whether it's coping mechanisms or, you know, whatever can be embedded in music. So like that's where I feel like I got to step off of my high horse a little bit, is because like maybe like J. Cole has some form of use case for some folks. Well, between Forest Hills Drive and the off season, few listen cases for me, but I did appreciate the fact that he did the compilation tapes and kind of like showcased other artists. And there's that period where they did the like the sessions that led up to that like compilation tape. So it was really cool to like follow that energy and see.
That's like the Dreamville projects, right?
Yeah, like what sort of momentum J. Cole and his like name and pull can create. And obviously folks like JID is obviously in his orbit, and you know it hasn't all been negative from my point of view. Just like Dakota said, in terms of like the big three, I feel like he's there. Like I definitely feel like he's in that conversation. And you think about like the new school of hip hop artists, like there was nobody really hitting that pinnacle of mainstream and also delivering rap in the same sort of package that we were used to prior to the big three, quote unquote, being the folks that we were listening to. You know, kind of Jay-Z's successor, if you will, or supposedly. But no expectations from the fall off, which I think made it a better listen. So
hell yeah,
I'll stop there.
Ooh. It's interesting because I think that's the problem with J. Cole is the expectation, right? Like the fact that he got the first kind of Jay-Z co-sign for Rock Nation, and then he came out swinging and he was pretty good. But I was trying to think about it. I'm like why was he actually part of the big three to begin with? Like there is nothing other than, I mean, he can rap like basically better than anybody else. But other than that, like Big Sean in the same era, I think is a similar big three candidate, minus the Jay-Z Rock Nation on your like your neck cosign. And I think that was the problem with J. Cole, is because he got that and we all were like, yes, and we all fed into it. And the more product we got, we're kind of like, this isn't big three quality. And then the other big two actually produced either, you know, volumes of hit records or the quality of product that you want from an artist, that it just made him seem so out of place. Like he's just an out of place, you know, artist, but he's good at rapping. Like I hate saying like that way, but he's really good at rapping. But he's not a big three. So I think that's the big problem. And I think he struggled with it. I think he's not really buying into it. And so he never delivered a product that bought into that big three hype. And that's why it's taken so long for this to come out. So going into it, yes, I was excited just to see if he actually like resolved not being a big three, or finally lived up to the promise of the big three era. And I think we all know the answer to both questions.
Yeah, the thing about like him saying he's the big three is him saying it over and over, and like that's how he got to the spot he like, just by sheer like, yes, like going to the studio every day, like riding his bike to the studio and like writing 16s like they're like free throws, like just like practicing like it's like basketball basically over and over again. There's that, but then also just like saying I'm the big three, saying, you know, my body of work is so like, it kind of tricked everybody, and we're all like, he's in the big three, and like it's kind of like it is like that really. So
Yeah,
No,
it's stupid. It's like what Dakota said earlier about the football analogy. For me, it's the basketball analogy. And the big three in basketball from the eras was Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. And Jordan has the quality of a Kendrick, right? It's like 6 for 6. He basically doesn't miss if he gets a chance to go to the finals. And then there's the quantity of the LeBron James, where he went to the finals like 14 times, lost a bunch, but still won a few. And just like Drake has that quantity, but J. Cole doesn't have the Kobe Bryant assassin DNA. He doesn't have the track record of winning four championship or five championships. So it's like how is he Kobe?
Would the metric, using this analogy, be the J. Cole meme of platinum no features? Because I think that's where like the crux of him being big three is. It's like he's getting the mainstream pull without having to call in folks. I really think that that's where it started.
And I know that's a meme, but that is impressive. That is very impressive to like hold a whole album by yourself. Like, he didn't do it again, but like I would say, like,
Yeah.
It's definitely impressive, like the amount of work that he does, but like with respect to that same work, like that it gets to a point where it's almost like gimmicky, like
Yes.
for the stretch of time where like don't get me wrong, if memory serves, I think J. Cole did the production on 2014 Forest Hills Drive. Did he not?
yeah, and pretty
Okay,
good,
okay.
like pretty good stuff.
So
Yeah.
like that is legitimate. Like I'm not taking away because that album had good songs and like he's obviously very good at like I totally agree. He is uh he's not even like he's an above average rapper. He is like a
Yes.
legitimately great rapper. But like my problem becomes like okay, he does all this stuff on his own and it kind of feels like he's just doing it to say that he did it because the end product like definitely suffered from him being like this and like him being included in the big three. It's like okay, when Pokemon Go came out in 2016, everybody was team red or they were team blue. Nobody was fucking team yellow, and J. Cole is team yellow. That's what he is. He's team mystic, where it's like I don't
Oh man.
like I have my beefs with Drake, like in the music that he's putting out and like his kind of aims with what he's doing with the gambling and everything. Like very much the rap beef between Kendrick and Drake seemed like a like pretty clear cut and dry good and evil thing. And like the good side actually won. But like where does J. Cole slide into all this?
Hmm.
He's team yellow. Like why am I choosing Zapdos over Moltres and Articuno here? Like he's a great rapper, but like he has an okay ear for beats. Like I don't know. Like I feel like they don't pop as much as they should. And like even with J. Cole's, he's good. He's like definitely better than Kendrick in terms of like the Eminem rapidy rap, like purely saying things just to rhyme and like the certain flows to it. But what is he actually saying in a lot of these raps? Like, and even in this like post beef world, like he's still throwing jabs about how he's like the best of all time. And when we like, you are the only person maybe in the world who can't say that anymore. A no-name guy passing out his mixtape has a better claim where it's like, okay, he just hasn't been discovered. Like, but J. Cole was up at bat in the World Series, and then he just threw it down saying, I hope that both teams just have a good game.
Well,
Like, it's just, I struggle to see like how anybody can make like an earnest case for him to belong in the top three. I can probably think of like at least half a dozen other rappers that like would probably have a better claim.
Hmm.
well, it's like there's a lot of threads to pull at with that. One is I think one way to look at it is I think of he's the middle child. Like middle child is kind of his that song is like his like kind of theme song of like what is his deal? Like I am in between. I can traverse worlds between like street and like higher like street and like celebrity and like I can still like connect with all the people. Try very hard to be a regular guy, even though he says he's bougie in the 226. I am, I'm already like Kendrick, but I am like also I can sing songs like Drake. I could do this. I could like so like I am in touch with like old school, and I'm like I try and sit down and understand new school and not like look down on it. Like try to adapt to it and like do a song seamlessly with 21 Savage, do a song seamlessly with Young Thug and whoever. Like, I think there's that. Oh, what I'm thinking is like what like when we're talking about like rap as a sport, like what sport are we actually talking about? Like are we talking about like boxing? Like is it like kind of like just like two guys
Yes.
get in a ring, whichever guy wins like is the winner. And then or are we thinking of it as like ice skating of just like there is like it's not a like when you like look at the stats for like ice skating, like some of the things are like technical of like how high you jump, how many flips you do or whatever. But there are like some of them are just like the performance. Some of it is like, more opaque, kind of like effervescent like ideas of metrics that are like more subjective. And rap is very much like that. I think both sports also it matters the one time like the actual performance, the actual match. It matters how you perform in the match. Like J. Cole choked like when he had the opportunity to fight the two people, and that's why Kendrick in the Super Bowl commercial was like, "There's no round twos. Like you can't do. You're not gonna like. We're not gonna do this again, basically." Or are we thinking of it as like basketball? Are we thinking about like not like individual like like what you're talking about like Kobe, Michael, and whoever? Are we thinking of it like basketball in terms of like are we on the same team fighting against something else like the like white supremacy team, like the anti-humanity team? And it's like maybe J. Cole is like really good at like layups and like free throws, and like Kendrick can do like the three pointers and whatever. And like Kendrick is more like Michael or whatever. And like Drake is like Scottie Pippen or whatever. Just like this idea of what. So that's why I feel like this sport analogy is a little confusing to me. Like, and it's like, but it's fun too at the same time. So
Let me
I,
let me simplify it for you, Andrew.
yeah.
We're talking about all the sports. And if you're a GOAT in any sport, I don't care if you're Pete Sampras, I don't care if you're Muhammad Ali, I don't care if you're Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, Connor McDavid, they all have the arrogance to be the best, to claim to be the best, and to actually deliver the best. And J. Cole claimed to be the best, backed away from the ability to deliver in the moment, and then comes back and claims it again. I think Dakota, what you say is exactly like the audacity to come on this record and say, I'm the GOAT after what we witnessed a year and a half ago is wild to me. And this is coming from someone who has no ability in rapping. So, J. Cole, if you're hearing this,
Check out
you can
Stizzy
out
on
rap.
Instagram.
You can, yeah, follow
Instagram
me on
reels.
Instagram, Snap the Sten. You can out rap like 99% of people who picked up a microphone of all time. But when it comes to like the actual sport of rap, where you have to tap the glove sometimes to go into the ring, if you choose to combat, you lost. You lost without even throwing a punch. And I'm sorry, you can't come back from that. There is no coming back. Like if you're a figure skater and you like go for a quadruple axel and you fall on your ass, you can't say, "Oh wait, let me do that again." Like no, the gold medal is gone. You can't
Mm.
then come back the next day at your local rink and say, "I'm the greatest figure skater of all time." Like, nah, we just saw
But
you at the Olympics.
Nor can you come back and say, give me the old guys. I'll take the old guys.
Yes,
like
exactly.
but I think the interesting thing though is it is you can at the same time. Like there's like we live like the once Pusha T decimated Drake with like Story of Adidon, like because there's no gatekeepers, because we're living in the internet age, like there are no rules anymore. This is the Wild West. Like you can, and because of stand culture and because of all these things, you can like still survive. You can still like be a great athlete. And it's also like I don't know. I come from the perspective of like um my brother was very much like a competitor. Like he was very much like competitive. He loved sports. He wanted to train me to be like to do free throw, like just like he was trying to be like Coach Carter, like that movie. Like he was trying to like he was trying to like make me do free throws and like kind of like improve my skills at a sport I didn't want to do. Like at a sport I didn't want to participate in and like had no interest in participating in. And I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to like and what was victory for me was um finding my lane, like trying something new and finding my lane as an artist and like becoming more and more myself, becoming more and more like who like the artist I'm supposed to be. Like that's where I relate to J. Cole, and that's where it's just like this like I get a little like defensive of just like people saying you can't compete, you can't be a winner, you can't be like and then the other side of it is just like rap is like it's like wrestling. You're supposed to, beat your chest and go like I'm number one. Like what is he supposed to go? Like okay, after the beef, I'm maybe like top 25. It's just like what are you supposed to do? I don't know. Like
That is a fair point, and that is something that I have asked myself quite a bit in terms of this record. Taking aside my reservations and my criticisms of J. Cole, what is the path forward for him? Like
to retire.
That's the thing. Like as a certified J. Cole hater, like I don't want him. Like I don't want him to. I wouldn't have wanted him to just like retire after he literally deleted later and made good on that mixtape's promise. But I have to think that it's not what he's done, like dropping Grippy, like remember Grippy?
Do I? Like,
but like that, and like, on that mixtape, the Blizzard birthday thing, like he's got that one song where like he is talking about my apology dropped me way out of the top 3, no problem, I'm my best when they doubt me. That's not true. We all doubted you in the rap beef, and then you said that To Pimp a Butterfly was overrated. That was your hard diss. Like,
Yeah.
like, so it's just like I think that he does a better job, thankfully, on like the album proper of not really addressing the beef. But even then, he's got that song where he writes a fan fiction about Biggie and Tupac being like, well, if they both apologize, then they'd both still be alive.
You gotta save it. You gotta save it. You gotta save it when we talk about this song because yeah,
sure,
there's
like
a lot.
We'll get to that. I guess I'm just like, thankfully, I think he's like left most of the braggadocio like in earnest, like the like I'm number one. He's like left that at the door for like the mixtape that he put out days before this album, but it's still like, why did you drop that? Why did you rap the way that you did on that? As we've all established, he raps better than most, and he takes on subject matter that I think is pretty broad, and I think at least attempts to be a little like more thoughtful than a lot of other rappers. Whether or not he actually executes is a different story. But he has these things going for sure, and I just think that like at least part of what I would want from him moving forward is like you have to leave all of the bragging at the door. I don't know what that looks like to kind of establish your dominance in rap without saying that you're number one. But like that could be Team Yellow's thing. That could be Team Mystic's thing, like find a new path forward because you're not outgunning anybody. Like that's just my thought.
I think he retires from the sport and focuses on the art. And then every so often he does a celebrity match, right? Like every so often go on a radio show, pick up someone's beat, freestyle on that bitch, and just show everybody like, oh yeah, by the way, I have the skill set if I wanted to actually tap in, but don't tap in ever again because you're never going to last 12 rounds. You didn't last like 2. So you can't last 12 rounds with anyone ever again within the sport of rap. Again, there's a sporting element. So don't be like Andrew's brother. Be like Andrew. Be an artist. Tap in your artistry, and then you explore all these different avenues as you become older. That 49 version of you, like go through that. Like that's awesome. But do not ever try to be in the sport of rap because it's like Kendrick is always gonna be there. And when he retires, there'll be another Kendrick that will be around, and you won't be able to compete with him, Rocky. Like, just don't do it. Do not box ever, ever again.
I,
Please.
I want to like I also want to say like he in a way he did win. In a way,
What?
No,
in a way,
no.
not like
What way? What
okay,
way?
okay,
Is this
okay.
like golf
We're
rules? Lowest
listening.
score wins?
No, in like the way like he J. Cole is always like he's confused. Like I think the challenge of him is he's kind of a confusing guy. Like he's kind of like he is both we're all kings and I'm the best at the same times. It's kind of a confusing message. But like I think one he wrote that song like good first person shooter about like how we're the big three like I'm pretty cool like there's a competitive like thing like I'm Muhammad Ali at the same time like I'm the best and then he was like Kendrick introduced you know the like that and says like there's no big three it's big me and then J. Cole was like kind of like gassed up to like respond to that, even though he had no like real smoke for like Kendrick. Like even though he like you could tell he didn't mean it. Like he compares him to the Simpsons. Like it's just like an awful song. So but the like so I'm not making a good case right now, but the idea of um him like him taking it back and going like that wasn't I didn't mean that that wasn't me and like and then then selling out Madison Square Garden and like you know celebrating 2014 Forest Hill Drive and just like kind of like you won like you kind of like there's no like actual like I think he succeeded in being himself because I think in this album he expresses a lot of I love the game of rap so much. I love rapping. I love hip hop so much. But like once like real life kind of like interjects in there, like what like and people die and like moms cry and stuff like that, it's not a game anymore. So like I think that's why he wanted to step out. But like what did you yeah.
Yeah, and I think just really quickly, I think that what you just captured is exactly it. Like he is able to spar and to thrive in the actual real life of hip hop, like the real life consequences, the joys, the pains, and all of that. But again, like the part where it's like, you know, we are combating because at its essence, you know, when you think about the corners where people got together and just traded bars like in that moment there's like like an almost like I'm going to do something to you but truthfully like you're at the end of the day oh that was a nice rhyme like that was nice right for the most part that's the interaction but in that moment you feel like this is a competitor and I'm going to rip his head off and he said I cannot rip someone's head off these are my brothers so he retired from that part of hip hop
Mhm.
that moment
Yeah.
and God bless him like that's cool.
I
But
don't
he's
want to let him off the hook that easily, though, because we have to keep in mind that he only did this. He did not do this like being, you know, like he did not present first person shooter and then like that came out and you know he heard the fire in Kendrick's voice and how Kendrick is like I reject your premise of the big three. It is actually just big me.
Mhm.
J. Cole did not merely go, you know what? You're right. Sorry. No, J. Cole put out a whole ass mixtape that the climax of it, yes, was 7 minute drill, but I don't want to like let us whitewash history here. That whole mixtape is ass. Like
A B C D E F G H I J K
like
M N O P. That's little
yeah.
me saying, "What's
like
L?"
like okay, what is that? And like he's doing so much bogus shit on that mixtape. I like can't believe it. I can't believe like this is gonna come. This is my J. Cole haterdom coming out. People like to ascribe J. Cole as being this like empathetic, thoughtful guy, and I'll give it to him that he like definitely tries to do that. But I think you know, like I was getting at with my Jordan Peterson like comparison to him, like J. Cole's an idiot. On Might Delete Later, like in the year of our Lord 2024, he's like dropping unironic transphobia bars where it's like, okay, like where the hell, like what a year earlier, Kendrick did Anti Diaries. Like there is a direct 1-to-1, and Kendrick did that before you. You are living in a post Anti Diaries world, and you're coming at us with that bullshit. And like I'm not demanding that like J. Cole, like I'm not saying that he has to be perfect or like the wokest guy ever or anything like that, but like he has a clear history of doing this. Like his beef with No Name, I'm not gonna like say that like No Name's politics are like perfect or anything like that, but like No Name called him out like on the exact like things that people think J. Cole's character like is for being like this activist. And J. Cole was like, well, I don't know why you're expecting any celebrity to talk on this stuff. Like it was just like what like so he was exposed for that. And then he comes out with this mixtape in the midst of this beef. And then afterwards, he apologizes, says it didn't feel right in his spirit. And like, it's not like, yeah, it's easy to look at the beef now and be like, oh, well, what happened between Drake and Kendrick? Like, J. Cole clearly misunderstood the assignment and like he just didn't have a place there because he didn't have the genuine animosity, which fair play. But it would be a lot fairer of a play if Kendrick himself did not establish a sort of hunger, like, I just want you to out rap me if you can with Control a decade earlier. That song was not hard. Like that song was not going like at a malicious angle at any individual person. It quite literally was him calling out his best friends in the industry, being like, I hate you. I want to make sure that your fans have never heard of you. Like I am the best. You will never beat me. You can try. You can't. J. Cole could have done that. And to a small degree, Kendrick did that again with Euphoria. Euphoria was a hilarious song. It was not, it wasn't really scandalizing like the same way that Meet the Grams or, like as like quite as comedic as like Not Like Us, but like Euphoria went hard as hell and was just purely rapping and keeping it about the sport, and even the few throwaway lines that Kendrick had at him, the YMW Melly line was one of the most insane things of the beef. Dang. And we cannot forget how hard that was. So, it's just like, there's like so much of J. Cole just falls apart under like the lightest bit of scrutiny to where like, I totally get Andrew, wanting you to like give him his flowers on that stuff. And to a degree, you know what, like he isn't wrong about, if some of the ways that these things played out, like, again, Biggie and Tupac, if they texted each other, sorry, like, like, is he wrong? Like, is he factually incorrect on that? Maybe not, but like morally in the spirit of the game, like, yeah, you can't be setting foot on the court unless you're a referee.
I think you bringing out like Control as like a counterpoint to my argument is a very strong point. My only like thing is just like we look back at the beef now and like that was entertaining, that was fun, that was sport. But like while we were in it, it was pretty like freaking, it was scary. I was like pretty upset. I was like pretty like, I stayed up all night after like the 2 songs dropped and just like thinking about the implications of just like Drake is running and like Kendrick Lamar is that was like heavy for me. And that just like shifted my entire like worldview at that like moment. And now I can look back and be like Meet the Grams. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that is J. Cole's claim to the big 3 throne is that he is able to kind of say, listen, let's get heavy on this. Like, let's actually like dissect and spend time thinking about our beginnings, our endings, and everything in between. And so when those records are coming out, yeah, there's a part of it that's just like, oh shit, I hope this isn't true. And then there's a sporting part of it, which is just like, fuck it, man. Like this is UFC. Like you're gonna elbow, you're gonna kick, you're gonna bite, you're gonna do whatever you gotta do in order to win. And especially when the guy warned you, right? Like Kendrick warned Drake, like, do not take it there because I will go further than you. Like I will do that. So please don't. And when the guy then goes further, Kendrick delivers on the promise. Whereas J. Cole didn't deliver on the promise of being part of this big three circus that we were all excited about. And that ultimately is the issue, is that he was talking a lot of shit and couldn't back it up. And
Yeah.
that's it. That's all it is.
I don't like the I think with this album, if we're talking about the fall off though, like there is a lot of like claiming I'm number one, claiming I'm the best, despite like what we all witnessed. And I don't know, I just feel like he can say that because one, you listen to it, I watched a lot of reactions to this album, and like they were like kind of like during like 39 intro or something like that. Like they were like hating every so often, and then they were like, man, you gotta admit this is pretty good. And then there's like he is going back to the just like the if it's not like real life, if it's not like people are gonna die from this, like once we're out of that area, he can go back to doing that. Like he can go back to like the original intention of what his what he was intending to do with um first person shooter. Like I think that was what he was intending to do, of just like doing a rap contest. Like,
A
Yeah,
sparring
but Ken,
exercise.
yeah, and Kendrick was supposed to be on that track. So I mean, that's kind of the other part of this whole first person shooter into like that. It's that they invited Kendrick to be on the song, and so in J. Cole's mind, it's like yes, like we're all just kind of as brothers, just sparring together and like having a cool old time in the boxing ring, and then go out for like I don't know dinner or drinks or whatever afterwards. And then Kendrick's just like, fuck that, man. I'm not doing this. It's just me. So now what?
But doesn't that illustrate though that like doesn't that illustrate though that like J. Cole is not in the in the big three? Like
Yes.
he's the middle child in the sense that like Drake is mommy and Kendrick is daddy, and he doesn't know that they're like divorcing, And he's like, can't the three of us go to the movies? Come on, guys. Like so he's not big three,
Uh,
right? Like so we're just right.
we're banned from North Carolina. Like we cannot go to that state because I don't
Oh
know.
no,
and I had a
what am I
James
gonna
Taylor
do?
concert to go to. Like, hope nothing bad happens.